How are we doing? Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video. Well, another live stream on channel. Tonight, well, let's go through League One, eh? Matt Bloomfield has left Wycombe Wanderers since the last time he visited us. Well, Wycombe Wanderers lost to Huddersfield, Bolton lost to Rotherham. As you do, we've had this game week as well. Matt Bloomfield leaves the Chairboys to go to Luton Town in the Championship as well. And a lot has happened in League One this weekend as well. We've got playoff drama. We've got top of the table Birmingham City, who look to break more records. Exeter City also breaking new records. Maybe not for the best of things. We've got new teams in the bottom four race. We had Thursday night games. We had a bit of everything this weekend in Sky Bet League One. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. And if you could drop us a like and a subscription on this stream, it would be greatly appreciated. So make sure you let us know if you can see and hear us. Right. Before further ado, let's bring in my co-host. Again, he's from the city with the best cathedral, the best food, the best dog, the best lady in Sue, but also he is the most, he's the most, I don't know, most irritating man in Lincoln after a result like that. How we doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, we won a game. Get in.
Can I just also just give you some advice here? Man to man. Yeah. Well, I tried to be. Man to man. Right? Listen to me. Right. You've won a game of football. 1-0. Well done.
Calm down.
You've enjoyed
Calm
it.
down.
Chill. Remember, now
we're winning the league. So who cares?
You lose.
I'm in Birmingham.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I also just say as well, this is the same man that I asked a week ago. He goes, oh, I'm looking over my shoulder. We'll be in League Two before we're in the Championship. I went, how many points are your next 5? I think you could get 8 to 10. He goes, win? Well, win. We might draw. We might get a lucky point against us. Win. I think we'll win 5 out of our next 6. I was like, just calm down, mate.
There we go. No, I'm good, mate. It was fantastic. It was a lovely day with Sue, Sarah, Bella at Flowers, Josh, and Noah in the
nice.
in the Popeyes of Northampton. It was absolutely sensational. Sue made
me my eyes.
Neither of us can talk about eyes particularly, can we, Nappers? We've got 6 between us, and only one of them work. So, and that's my undodgy eye. So that tells you everything, doesn't it? But no, yeah, I had a lovely time. I had a lovely brownie and Rocky Road because Flowers and Bella took all of the rest of them home. And to top it off, mate, we won a game of football. It was nice. And we've made a signing this week. We're going to make another signing next week. Oh, honestly, I really don't know what to do with myself, man. All this positivity. Yeah, it's good. It's good, mate. It's been a good game week as well. And I feel like even though I've literally been on a StreamYard. I was on a StreamYard with you earlier. So if you haven't already, become a member to the Cods Vlogs channel and you will see how me and Nappers spent this afternoon together.
And you wasn't in the video. Meant to be in the video.
I wasn't supposed to be, but if everyone can notice, someone's microphone is up and working correctly because he was able to shut his laptop down and it works. Who told you that wonderful piece of advice, Ben?
Well done. Yeah. Well done, I also uploaded a 26-minute piece of behind the scenes of doing co-coms, an interview with BBC Radio Lancashire, how I prep, just behind the scenes of me going to Manchester, just something different. The members' videos are very, very different to how I act on here. So that if you've ever been to a TV show, like I went Britain's Got Talent about a week and a half ago, and it's totally different. He's a kind of on the show, they've not got any talent, and off the show, they've not got any talent, but it's different. But no, if you go and subscribe to my membership, it will be greatly appreciated. Let's say hello to the comments. But before we do so, some donations. Sam has dipped into his pocket, $1.99. As has Bulbo
guy.
Thank you very, very much. You
Blues
absolute
fan.
legend. Stephen has vented his frustration at Ian Everett. That's my man.
Something happened in Bolton this weekend, Ben?
Good evening. What?
Did something happen in Bolton this weekend?
I know, yeah. 21 less games in Burton Albion. Well, according to Sky, you're already in League Two. If you're up your offer, then now we're talking.
You've got John Mellish. You don't need him. You need to sign for a proper club like Lincoln.
Well, if you could like the show, let's get to 100 likes on tonight. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to go for 20,000 subscribers as well. So if you could give us a subscription, it would greatly be appreciated. And also, become a member down below because it really does help me kind of on my quest to try and do this on a more regular basis. And the more members we've got, the more videos I can produce as well. We're going to go through a running order, and that running order is now on your screen as by magic. There'll probably be mistake. Mistake.
Get your words out, Apples. Come on.
He's got
Come
We're
on,
going to start off, and we're going to go all the way back to Thursday, where Shrewsbury Town beat Wrexham by 2-1, thanks to goals from John Marquis. An excellent result. Now, Gareth Ainsworth has come into the football club, started well with a win over Birmingham, and he had a few defeats in there. He had likes of Blackpool in there as well. And he didn't have it his own way. But then 3 wins now for him against Birmingham, Lincoln, and now Wrexham. Drawn 3 away at Wigan, where they were 2-0 down. Blackpool, where they were a goal down, which was a massive point. And Northampton, where that's probably the game they felt they could have won and really cut that gap at that time. They have lost 4, but that's still 12 points. That is as many points as Bolton Wanderers in the last 10 games, just for a little stat for you. And in getting, obviously, Gareth Ainsworth's time, 3 wins, 3 draws, 4 defeats. Before that, they'd only won 2, drawn 2, lost 11 of that period as well. Wrexham have just won 2 of their last 10 now league games, drawing 3, losing 5. Again, away from home. It's not great at all. They do struggle away from home, and that's something they need to eradicate if they're going to go up, and they've had more away games left than home games as well. But for Shrewsbury, going back to them, because I think full credit to them before we get into the Wrexham bit, I thought they were excellent the other day. And Gareth Ainsworth's always been this manager for me, Jake, where I love listening to him speak. He's one of the managers that I tend to listen to after the game because he's so positive and so upbeat. And I remember when they lost 1-0 at Wycombe to Sheffield Wednesday, he goes, how good are they, by the way? Like, how good were their fans today? You know, our fans had it right. I go, it was a proper game of football. They lost 1-0 to a Will Vogue scream. It's a fantastic strike. He's a great lad. And he sees the best in people. And he can make a bang average football. I think they're signing Dominic Gape, who's not done very well at Eastleigh, but he'll make him into a top League One footballer again.
Played for him before,
and he worked with him before. I just think that he gets the best out of people and and if I was to play for a manager in the Football League, and I've said it before when I was at Wycombe, I'd want to play for Gareth Ainsworth, and he outclassed Joey Barton. And before the game, he spoke so highly of Fleetwood, and he'll always speak highly of people. He won't be this manager after the game that will slag, if he loses, slag them off. He'll praise them. And something that always sticks with me, Gareth Ainsworth, we took 45 fans on a Tuesday night to Wycombe, and they beat us in the last minute. He came over to the Fleetwood fans and clapped them for coming. And I thought, that is some respect. And if you're a Shrewsbury fan now, if you go down, you've probably got one of the greatest managers in League One and League Two to have to come back up. But they've got a right chance of staying up. And I'd love it if they stayed up because I love Gareth Ainsworth.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything that you say, Ben. Gareth is their football club's biggest asset. And I thought he got it tactically spot on Thursday night. I watched the game, obviously. I think we even FaceTimed at one point during the game, didn't we? Yeah, I thought tactically it was brilliant. I don't know if you've heard Gareth Ainsworth talk about what they tried to do, but they tried to stop the ball from going to Wrexham's wide centre backs because that's how Wrexham are so effective. You've got you two, and that's how they get it out wide quickly. And to be fair to Wrexham, their best 2 players so far this year, arguably better, have been James McLean one side and Ryan Barnett on the other side. And what they did was they stopped the outside centre half playing and they gave it to the middle centre half, and he had an absolute nightmare. Was it Owen O'Connell gave away a penalty? Good point, Mark. And yeah, look, John, they were brilliant out of possession. Thought they dealt with it really well. I've listened to Wrexham podcast before, and they say the way to beat Wrexham is by giving them the ball, and that's what Shrewsbury did. They sat deep, they're frustrated. They went a goal up really. It was a really well worked goal, Ben. Wasn't it? Really good finish from John Marquis. I think Arthur Conker will be quite disappointed in the manner in which it slipped past him with the near post. But yeah, Wrexham get themselves level through a great cross from Ryan Barnett, who I thought was the only real threat for Wrexham. I thought was the only decent player for them. And then the stupidity from Wrexham giving away a penalty, and it was definitely a penalty. John Marquis sees his penalty miss, but he follows up the rebound. So yeah, really, really good win for Shrewsbury. Like you say, Gareth Ainsworth was such an asset for them. He will give them every possible chance of staying up. That's 3 wins now, all against teams that were in the top 6 at the time of playing them as well. So that's massive for them that they can beat them. What Shrewsbury, I think, need to improve on is beating the teams around them. They've not had a great record of doing that so far this year. They lost away at Cambridge. They lost away at Burton. They beat Crawley away from home 5-3 in an international break. Still got to beat teams around them if they're going to claw themselves back in. And they'll be looking at the teams ever so slightly above them in the table, Ben. You're looking at Northampton, who obviously lost yesterday. Peterborough, Bristol Rovers. They've got to be eyeing them sorts of teams and backing themselves to get more points in them over the second half of the season. And if Ainsworth can set them up repeatedly, like he did on Thursday night, I think they've got a chance. I really do. The squad is not as good as some of those other teams that we mentioned, Ben. But Gareth Ainsworth is a genius when it comes to setting teams up for individual games, which I think will get Shrewsbury over the line.
You've got to remember as well, he kept that QPR team up the first season as well. He went in and did a decent job that year. And there's that clip of him going, with that, was it those people who came on his first game? Yeah, and it was strange. It would have worked at Wycombe because that's the type of, but at QPR, it's like, they're not too good for it, but maybe at the championship level, it's a level, it's very non-league-esque, isn't it? A proper lads thing. And maybe they didn't have the kind of relationship, his type of lads there. I think at Shrewsbury, they are. You just look at Toto Nsiala crunching on James McLean, everything you need to know. Shrewsbury tough fixtures coming up. They've got Charlton away at the Valley, haven't they, on Saturday, followed up with Stockport away from home. And I think they've got a home game against Mansfield in that period as well. I know they've got to visit Reading and Rotherham in future. Bolton at home coming up as well. And then you go into periods of Stevenage at home going into March, Peterborough. But then, you're looking at games against in March, just looking at it here. Bristol Rovers at home, Exeter away, Burton at home. Where last year, Shrewsbury's strong point, in my opinion, was they beat the sides that were poor. Fleetwood, Carlisle, they managed Port Vale, they managed to, if you look at their last 3-4, Northampton, not that Northampton weren't poor, but it's an opportunity to win the game at Paul Hurst's first game back. And Gudo came back into the side, they won 2.
Yeah, it was away from home, wasn't it? They won 2-0.
And it was a great result for them. But it was a bit like Northampton did last year. They beat the sides in and around them. And if you do that, you're taking points off them. And Gareth Ainsworth has the spirit. It's about
Ben, by the way, they are the worst team to go a goal down to.
Yeah,
because
100.
We've all played against Gareth Ainsworth teams before. They get a goal up and they just start managing the game. Really, really. I saw it on Boxing Day, and I was pretty sure I came on here really frustrated because I was on the other end of it. But when you are a Shrewsbury fan, it is when you're 1-0 up under Gareth Ainsworth, you will win more games than you lose. That is just a fact.
It is frustrating, but he's getting that first goal for them as well. I know Northampton came from a goal down, but they've got an enormous character in there. And what I like about him, he said he came in with his style after the Austria on the spin, didn't he? And he goes, I'm going to have to change it. Because they got battered heavily to Wycombe, didn't they? And I like that he came out and he can say, as an experienced manager, and managers I've seen at Fleetwood and over the years in the EFL, they don't change things. Lazy coaching, I think that is. Not just stubborn, but it's lazy because you don't want to change it. And you're out of ideas. Gareth Ainsworth has adapted it a little bit. I think the one good thing I'm seeing about Shrewsbury is a spirit. not just the performances are getting better, they've got a spirit and they've got an endeavour. And people go, I think they're 6 points adrift now. It's one win and they're right back amongst it. They just need to win one more game of football. Look, they cut the gap from 8 to 5 already the other day, and that looks like, oh, we're close now. So, yeah. Next up, Rotherham 4, Charlton 2. Rotherham's Andre Green finally getting a goal. Scored, assisted and a further 2 against Charlton at the weekend as well. The second time he's both scored and assisted in the league match at the start of December, having previously not done so across the first 85 games in English football. So good to see him getting back to winning ways. Rotherham are a team that are slowly getting a rhythm going, aren't they? It almost feels that, yes, they're still a while off where they want to be. They are still a whopping 7 points off the playoffs. But again, you look at it, they're only 4 points off Bolton Wanderers. So again, a bit like Shrews, we just could keep breaking teams down by teams. But again, in the last 5 games, they've drawn 3, won 2. It's just turning those draws into wins now. They've turned the losses into draws, slowly winning a few. But, 2 big results now against Bolton Wanderers and, 3 wins, 2 draws, not the other way around. To beat Bolton Wanderers 3-1 and make Bolton look average again. And then, beat Charlton, who have been in really, really good form. I think they'd won 3 and drawn 3 before coming into this game of football.
Yeah, Rotherham were good yesterday, Ben. Really, really good. Sure that you think you can. I think what we've sort of said all season is that Steve Evans has to find a way to make this Rotherham team click. And I think finally he's landed on something that has seen them click, playing in that 4-3-1-2 formation with Joe Powell at the tip of it, running things creatively. You've got Humphreys, McDonald and McWilliams, all really hard-working midfielders. And up front, with the absence of Johnson Clark-Harris, who was on the bench, you've got Malik Wilks and Andre Green, who are probably not Steve Evans type centre forwards. If you think of a Steve Evans side, you think of the target man. Let me take you back to his Gillingham side. They had Verdane Oliver. You go to his Stevenage team, they had Jamie Reid or Aaron Presley. Go back to his Mansfield side, they had someone like Tyler Walker, who played that role as well. So they normally tend to have a bigger centre forward. But in Wilks and Andre Green, there's a bit of height in there, but they're really 2 centre forwards in there to stretch teams, and that's exactly what they did against Charlton. Completely ran the back 3 of Jones, Gillespie, and Alex Mitchell, absolutely ragged, and got down the sides and really hurt them. I think it was Malik Wilks' goal. I don't know if you've seen it, Ben, where the ball goes straight in the air, and Malik Wilks, he does really well, really good finish. But you're just looking at the Charlton defender and thinking, my goodness me, what on earth are you trying to do?
The celebration was awful, though.
The celebration was just as bad as the defending. Yeah, I don't know, Ben. Charlton, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about. I know that they won
They've been unbeaten 6.
Yes, Ben, I know. Just bear with me a moment, Ben. Just bear because the times that they do get beat, it tends to be catastrophic. They
4-2 catastrophic.
Yes.
If you lose 2-1 or 3-1
against Rotherham, I think allowing that Rotherham team to score 4 goals is catastrophic, especially when Charlton have been
that last minute goal from Matty Gordon. Maybe if you lose 4-1, we're on here.
Exactly. And the thing about Charlton, Ben, is they were so good at the start of the season. They were relying on 1-0s and 2-0s to get by, but they're just not. They just look a shadow of that side that started the early season. Really, they conceded a lot of their goal. I think it's 20% of the goals Charlton have conceded now have been to Rotherham so far this season.
Wow.
Which is alarming. So yeah, I don't know. I think Nathan Jones needs bodies, Ben, in this month. I think he needs quality. You look at the team that played yesterday afternoon. For me, they're still light in midfield. I think they could probably do with another option up front as well, because whilst they've got Matty Godden, Miles Lieben, I think is going to be a permanent fixture up there. But you've got Tyrese Campbell, Gaston Hadmade, Chuck Sanike is more of a player on the bench, Dan Carnu. So I think if Charlton to go and get an experienced number 9 to go and play alongside a Lieben, maybe like a Michael Smith that's that's at Wednesday or somebody like that, just to offer them something a bit different, a bit of experience at the top. Because you know how important experience is at the top end of the pitch. And Charlton have got a ridiculously young front line. I think it would really help them. But yeah, Charlton, they've got some tricky games, Ben, coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Bolton away.
Bolton away on Tuesday. They go away to Blackpool. Birmingham away next month. Leyton, Orient away. Barnsley away. Stockport. Them 3 games are back to back. Include then
you've got Bristol Rovers.
They're a speed camera though, apart from yesterday, aren't they? Really? So yeah, no, it's disappointing for Charlton, but for Rotherham, I think they'll definitely take a lot of credit.
Bang on the money here. That, by the way, from Charlie. I agree with that.
He normally is bang on the money, is Charlie?
Yeah, well, Wigan were bang on the money yesterday, who we are going to come to very, very, very shortly. But before we do, we're going to go to Bristol Rovers.
No, Ben, you can't do it. You very much know. It's Bristol Rovers. Come on.
Who got their first, back-to-back wins now, which is good to see. Look, they were struggling, weren't they? But finally getting those back-to-back wins, which I think they've needed for a while, a bit of consistency. Going away at Cambridge, winning 1-0. And then, obviously, a great result against Barnsley. Now they've won a game at home under Calderon, winning a game as well. Just exactly what they needed. And gone back to basics a little bit as well. And at times, they've been a bit of a dull watch this year. But yesterday, they had to go a lot without the ball. Barnsley were unlucky in the game of football. 25 shots for Barnsley yesterday, 9 on target. But it was a good game, a good spectacle, because Bristol Rovers had 7 shots in the game as well. Again, but if you go 2-0 down away at Bristol Rovers in that type of environment, when the crowd get up, when they so often do, and they've not had nothing to get up for, the Mem is an intimidating place to go. Josh Hill did pull one back for the away side before Ruel Satoru, scoring that 3rd goal, and it ended up being the winning side. This Barnsley side, they've been on a good run, and they're a real threat to try and challenge those above them. But exactly what I've been saying. I know there's a lad called Alex that will be slagging me off right now, because every time apparently I slag Barnsley off, which I don't think
both of us. I think that's
slagging both off because we keep writing off Barnsley. But I just think the top 4 in Huddersfield, Wrexham, Wycombe, and Birmingham are better sides than Barnsley. But I also think those sides are better than Stockport, better than Reading, better than Leyton Orient, better than Bolton, better than Mansfield, better than Lincoln, better than Fleetwood, who are also in League One.
Last season.
Yeah, no need for that. But look, they've won 4 on the spin and been on a good run. And it's about how Barnsley react through that. They've got enough quality in that side, and they're playing well now. They're creating chances now. Darryl Clark, again, came out away from the ground very relaxed. You saw a video with a Bristol Rovers fan. A club close to his heart as well. I know he loves and adores that football club for many different reasons. But they've got tough games coming up now. They've got Stevenage, Wycombe to come away from home before Burton, Stockport, Huddersfield. That is the next 5 games for them, and they've got to really come away from that with a good result. But full credit to Bristol Rovers, who, again, conceded a lot of chances, but took theirs.
Yeah. Speaking to Ben earlier today, Bristol Rovers fan, he was very impressed with the way that Igneo Calderon has been able to find a system that works for this Bristol Rovers team. I think what it's worth pointing out is I think you've got to give massive credit to James Wilson. Thought he was excellent. Ward in midfield, another excellent performer. They were clinical when they went forward. He did tell me that Barnsley had their opportunities. Obviously, you look at the stats for the game, 25 shots on goal for Barnsley. Just the one that found its way past Josh Griffiths, who again was another good performer, and his loan to the Gas has proven out to be quite a successful one. I don't want to discredit Bristol Rovers. I thought they were excellent. Again, out of position, they had a really good shape and caught Barnsley where they were vulnerable in the transition, and they were able to get there. But Barnsley, they had a lot of this game, Ben, an awful lot of it. And you do just wonder, I know there's transfer speculation around some of their players. I know Adam Phillips has got a lot of interest. Maybe that's playing on his mind, potential move up to the Championship. We'll probably get slated for that in the comments after this goes.
Oh, he'll be there with a notebook.
Absolutely. But Barnsley, Ben, like you say, they've been in a decent run, similar to Charlton, but you always back Barnsley away from home because they are a very good away side, a very good away side. And yesterday, they just got it wrong. They come up against a well-drilled, really good Bristol Rovers team who had individually good performers all across the back line. And it helps when you've got a bit of attack, a bit of bite in midfield. Romain Sawyer's added that for them, a new signing that's coming from AFC Wimbledon since we've last been on. Odonka getting himself a goal. That will do him the absolute world of good. Royal Satoru, I think he had a decent game as well. So, yeah, Bristol Rovers, this is a really big win for Bristol Rovers. This is a statement to show those other teams down in the bottom echelons of this league, your likes of Peterboroughs, your likes of Northamptons, Crawley, Shrewsbury's, that they're not going to be in this dogfight. They're absolutely not going to be in this dogfight. I think there is a speed camera in Bristol, by the way, just on the way into the ground. I think I went past it a couple of months ago. But Bristol Rovers not giving out 3 points is massive. I think there's only 3 teams, Ben, that have won their last 2 games in League One. Do you know who they are?
Well, one will be
Bristol Rovers, because I'm
Bristol
talking
Rovers.
about them.
One's obviously Birmingham.
Yeah. Do you know the other one?
Rotherham.
Yeah. Which shows you how pony this league is at the moment.
But then you can also, I'm a big believer of you don't need to win back-to-back games. How often do I say 2 points a game, right? Win 1, draw 1. It's 92 points. It wasn't enough for Sheffield Wednesday the other year when they got 96 and didn't go up. But often, I was looking the other day at league leaders, and we'll come to that in a minute. Luton went up with 94. These are champions, by the way, and wins. Luton had 27 wins and won the league with 94 points. Coventry had 18 wins and won the league with 67 points after 34 games. Hull, 27 wins, won it with 89. Wigan, 27 wins and got 92 points. Plymouth, who get disrespected as apparently Ipswich are the greatest ever League One team ever, when Plymouth finished above them in the table. I like Ipswich a lot, but Plymouth won 31 games and got 101 points. Portsmouth got 97 last year, and these are league winners. So, again, it doesn't matter about winning back-to-back games. Yes, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but Blues have won 4 and drawn 2. Wycombe have won 3, drawn 1, lost 2. That's obviously still a bit short, don't get me wrong. Wrexham at 10 points as well. Huddersfield, you could say have drawn 3 of the last 4, but you can also split it and say, well, they've won 3 and drawn 3. So that's 2 points a game over a sample size. It's good enough. Do you know what I mean? Leyton Orient, and haven't won back-to-back games, but they won the 6 previous to that. So, yeah, I don't read too much into that, if I'm honest with you. But excellent win for Bristol Rovers. That takes them, I think, 7 points above the bottom 4. And I only think they probably need another 17 points to stay up. I think 45 points would keep you up.
I'm not sure about that. I think it's going to be slightly higher.
No, I think this league is very, very poor. Very, very poor. What a guy. My mate, Daniel. Thanks for the donation, buddy. Appreciate that. It was very good. I enjoyed it. It was better than last time. Well, both times I've done it, there's been 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. So a great afternoon. And it was good. It was freezing. I've only just been able to feel my hands. Shut up.
What? What have I done?
I hate you.
What for? What have I possibly done now?
You know what you've done. You smiled and you moved. Reading 1, Stockport 3.
Sorry.
Stockport County's on the Norwood assisted 2 goals against Reading, as many in his previous 72 league games as well combined. A great performance from Stockport, who had the kahunas to go away from home and win the game of football. Brilliant result for them as well, after a tough period for them, if you think about it, Jake, that they've not really been at it for the last few weeks. But again, losing Louis Barry, I think, is a sad time. They've drawn 2, lost 2 since the last win. But that kind of just puts them back into a place. 26 games. I know they played a game more. I know Bolton, Leyton, Orient, Reading, Mansfield have 2. Charlton have 2. All have games in hand on them. So they might go to where Bolton Wanderers are in the table. But they're still in a good place. And to go away at Reading, win 3-1, big stadium, good home form. Talk to me.
Better to have points on the board than games in hand, Ben. Would you not say? Games in hand don't mean anything unless you win them. So it's...
Can I just say, Can I just say,
Go on.
if Lincoln had played 24 games and we're on, say, 34 points, take a point.
Games in hand.
Game in hand, there's opportunities that why shouldn't we? We just beat Northampton, we're in good form, we're going to go and get them.
We're not in good form.
You
we're
just change your mind or whatever.
We're not in good form. I would always say, Ben, and I have always said, I would rather points on the board than games in hand because, that's concrete. Whereas games in hand are more like mixture. Whereas games in hand are like the brick, the actual there. You can see them, you can feel them. Whereas the concrete mixture,
What else have you been feeling?
Quite a lot of things over the last couple of weeks, Ben. Mainly frustration, but yesterday was a little bit of relief. We'll come on to that later, and that wasn't just about the football. Look, it was a really, really good win for Bristol Rovers. I'm just stuck about Bristol Rovers. I love them that much, Ben. I just can't help talking about them. For Stockport County is what I mean. Really good win for them to go away to Reading, who are a promotion rival. In fact, they overtook them in the division. Reading have such a strong home record. I think they've picked up the most home wins in 2024 in the league.
Team in the EFL, I think. Well,
so it shows you how good a result it is. Ollie Norwood in midfield pulling the strings to make them go 2 goals up within the first sort of 15 minutes. And then I'm really pleased for Jack Diamond to get himself on the score sheet as well, Ben. He's had a really rough 12, 18 months or so. So really happy for him to get on the score sheet in League One again and show people what he's about. For Reading, I didn't think they were great. The stats suggest that Stockport had the better of this game. 1 shot on target for Reading, which was the goal from Sam Smith. Obviously, Smith himself has been linked with a move away from Reading. I know before they signed Charles and somebody else, Huddersfield were linked with him. I imagine we might potentially see him have a chance at going to Bolton. I think that would be a really good fit. I think he's the type of centre forward Bolton need, but I'm sure we'll come on to your one of your favourite teams later on. But great win for Stockport, massive statement from them. It shows that they didn't need Louis. Well, they needed Louis Barry, but they didn't need Louis Barry, and they've done it also by having less possession. Because Stockport traditionally, Ben, certainly so far this year, have been a team that win games, and they need a lot of possession to do so. In a way that they control games and they keep the ball, and they get teams shifting from side to side. Whereas yesterday, complete different. Only 37.3% possession. Caught Reading on the transition with the pace that they've got up front. Alafe, Torre's pretty quick.
Abutour is fantastic. He's, I think, one of my favourite footballers. I watched a lot of them at Salford, and
exactly.
I'll be honest with you, I've watched a lot of Salford in the last 5-6 years. Through the documentary and obviously through just when they've been on and through Fleetwood plays that have been there as well. Abutour is a player I've always wanted at Fleetwood, and they were kind of struggling to adapt to League One. He's a fantastic League Two footballer, and he's a decent League One. I think he's a solid mid-table league. They want more than that, but he's a good player. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, they had a lot of pace, and they were able to catch, Reading on the counter attack. And Reading are a young team, Ben. You're looking at Khan, who's a young lad, Rashesha, he's a young lad, Garcia, Chem Campbell, all young players, and perhaps I think you can see over the last couple of weeks that this inexperience that Reading have got have caused a slight issue. So great win for Stockport.
Yeah, Reading will be hoping Sam Smith stays with
Sam
them.
Smith.
Yeah, obviously.
Then Sif, what you use to clean your
they'll
your
be
stove.
saying stay with me, won't they? And look, over the years, players at Reading, they've been too good at goodbyes, haven't they? Hopefully Sam Smith doesn't be too good at goodbyes. Bid on. Stevenage 1, Wigan 2. Phil Westgard's 95th minute winner gave Wigan Athletic their first league win against Stevenage, in which was their 4th meeting in this one as well. Wigan Athletic getting that win away from home, and a bit of an upturn in form recently. That's now their 3rd win in the last 6, drawn 1, lost 2. 23 goals scored now. It was the battle of the low scorers yesterday. Stevenage had only scored 18 going into yesterday. Wigan only scored 21, a combined of 39. But both sides quite solid as well. Stevenage had only conceded 20 before yesterday. Wigan Alpha, they only conceded 23 before yesterday. So the battle between, they're not the boring sides, but they don't often win games of football, in great fashions, but they don't often get hammered in ways as well. Bar obviously, Wigan got beat 3-0 to Birmingham in the 1 week that I don't predict 3-0. Yeah, great that. Thanks for that. Ruined my holiday.
I'll tell you what though, Ben. I'll tell you what, while we're on the topic of this game, me and you both made very wise choices with our EFL captains this week. You picked James Trafford, 24 points for you.
Just saying, 2 penalty saves, clean sheet. Scott Parker is a football terrorist, keeps clean sheets, wins games.
And Ben, would you like to tell the lovely people who I chose as captain?
Yeah, you captain Tello Asgard.
Tello Asgard, because that man is on fire. Tello, 2 goals in the FA Cup away at Mansfield in the week, followed up by a sumptuous free kick. But I thought Wigan were good value for it, Ben, to be honest. They got themselves in front through Dale Taylor, really good free kick. Dale Taylor completely beats the trap and taps in. I think he's been a really smart, good addition for Wigan since coming in. I think he's a terrier up front. I know Charlie and the lads on the Progress of Unity absolutely love his work rate. And he's also, if you think back to his time at Wycombe, his time away at Burton as well, a very naturally good finisher. And his finish yesterday was fantastic. What I want to talk to you about, Ben, is the red card for Jensen Weir. I don't think it's a red card.
Harsh.
Very harsh. It is. Look, I understand it's cynical, and he's stopping the play. I absolutely think he should be punished for that. But I think a red card is a little bit unfair.
Game's gone.
And what it did, it allowed Stevenage to work their way back into it. And it took just 10 minutes for Dan Kemp, who's been a real bright spark for Stevenage so far this season. He got them level. But that man, Tello Asgard, he has magic in his boots, Ben. That free kick is sensational. And I'm not trying to say this because to annoy Wigan fans, but he is a championship player waiting in the making. He is the way that he dictates that Wigan team, the way that he inputs creatively, the goals he scores, the assists he makes. I also think his movement as well as a number 10 is just, I mean, I watched him a couple months ago when we played him at the start of the season. I thought he was excellent with his movement then, caused us no end of issues. And I'd hate for Wigan fans for him to move up. I think it's the right time for him. He's had a lot of games in the first team at Wigan. Wigan obviously will be heavily compensated for him.
Hopefully not too much.
Hopefully not too much.
Did you not like try selling their player to give him funds?
Yeah, well, your man's not going to go. Your man's not
kind of adapt to what you're doing here.
Your man's not going to go for 7 figures anyway, so I won't worry about that.
He's not going at all. That's why.
Yeah, I think it's the right step, preferably after Tuesday, because I want him to get another 20 points for me against Burton Albion. But yeah, what a player! Wins so many points for Wigan. And I think yesterday they were just good. I thought they deserved the win. I thought they were good out of possession, like Sean Maloney's teams are. I don't know if you've seen the clip of of Sean Maloney going over to the Wigan fans. I'm not even a Wigan fan, and I was absolutely pumped up by it. Similar to like I was when I listened to the Argyle manager's first speech when he was introducing himself to the Plymouth players. Is his name Murich or something like that?
No.
You wouldn't know. Yeah, he was. I really I could see the passion on his face, and the Wigan fans are absolutely loving it. So yeah, great win for Wigan. They've got themselves a good FA Cup tie as well. Fulham at home, I think, in the FA Cup. So there'll be a nice reunion with Marshall Goddo, who was there last season on loan from them. Yeah, look, fantastic from Wigan, and a really good win.
Great result. I actually saw a Wigan fan heading to Stevenage.
Oh, I got recognised on the train.
Oh, what can I say?
Look at you. Look at you trying to peacock now that somebody's here. Look at you. Can't do that, Ben. We're
I
live.
should have done that.
That's not.
Apologies.
Get him cancelled, everybody. Ben Natman needs cancelling. Hashtag Ben Natman cancelled on Twitter.
Here we go. Northampton 0, Lincoln 1.
Even better.
Lincoln City win just their second game since late October in that period. Lincoln City
we've won cup games. We've won games in the cup.
No, it don't count.
Oh,
if my point last year about Fleetwood being not in game when I mentioned the FA Cup game.
Here we go.
Tendai Derrick's fourth goal of the season after scoring twice against Wycombe in a defeat and against Burton in a victory. They lost the game of football. 4 wins, 5 draws, 5 defeats on the road this season for the Imps. They are 3 points better off, and it was this time last season that was it 17 games unbeaten last year for the Imps. 16 games unbeaten before
10 wins, 6 draws
to Wigan Athletic, which was disappointing. I remember, I kind of remember that ending. A decent ending to the season, although they didn't get into the playoffs. Unfortunately, so and that's not a dig. Northampton have only just won 1 of their last 8 Football League games against the Imps, drawing 2, lost 5, winning 2-1 2023 December now as well. Yep. And Lincoln City are unbeaten in their last 4 Football League matches against Northampton at Sixfields as well. Jake, how are you, mate? Great result for you. I'm actually surprised because you're that type of money that you didn't go and watch it on the hill outside to save 20 quid.
We were having a go at the people on the hill actually, but yeah, no, it was good. I'll talk about Northampton first because I feel like that I know a lot of people in here will moan that I'm going to go on about Lincoln for a while, but Northampton I thought were pretty poor, to be honest. They were very, to be fair, first half I thought they were actually okay. It's when they went behind, they were chasing the game, and once the ball to Tom Eve stopped working because Paudie O'Connor and Jacko ate it up all afternoon. They didn't have a whole lot for them. I thought in the first half, they like I said, they were okay. They had a couple of chances. Zach Geacock had to make a couple of saves. And then, second half, again, like I say, they brought Fossey on, who I thought was going to cause us a couple of problems, but he didn't. And creatively, I am worried about them because outside of the ball to Eves, they have absolutely nothing, Ben. And I do worry they need some creativity in midfield. You can tell that Northampton Town side are missing somebody like a Mark Leonard and a Kieran Bowie. Really, you can tell that they're missing them superstar loans. I think Kevin Nolan will need to really play on this January transfer window and bring in a couple of forward players because they did not look like scoring in a month of Sundays yesterday. On to the good part. I didn't think we were fantastic. We were good enough to win the game. We took a chance when it came. Obviously, a lot's been made about Billy Draper this week, about a move to Walsall potentially. He came out and absolutely shut the critics up yesterday. I thought he was outstanding. Played his part for the goal as well. Really good for Tendai to score. He's been probably one of our signings of the season, but you've got to give it to Paudie O'Connor. He was absolutely outstanding yesterday and definitely, in my eyes, one of the best defenders in this league, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he got the highest average. I think he got the highest rating of any player in the EFO yesterday. But really happy, Ben. It finally feels good to win a game again. It's felt like a while, trust me. Yeah, and obviously we've had the news come through today as well about James Collins, which I think that's going to be a really good signing if it comes in. Obviously, he's scored a lot of goals at this level for Derby, for Luton. Yeah, look, things are getting exciting now, mate. We've got experience to come in and help our younger lads, and hopefully it brings the best out of us, and we can really have a fantastic second half of the season like we did last year with someone else. So yeah, no, I'm happy, mate. I'm really happy. Good to win. Really good away day as well. Enjoyed the Popeyes. Of course, I'd say that because I'm a big lad. But yeah, just a fantastic, fantastic afternoon. With good company and 3 points. Get in.
Freddie Draper's move to Walsall didn't go through because he got stuck in treacle.
Don't say that. That's nasty. Don't
That's what
say
you
that.
say to me. That's what you...
Freddie Draper yesterday, and I've said this. I put it on Twitter. He was absolutely unplayable. Pinned their centre halves. Did so well. Could have scored a header.
When you lose next week,
we're not losing next week. We've got a nice 3 points next week. Then we've got Peterborough.
Oh, you don't learn, you don't learn. Oh, this boy. Birmingham 1-0. There we are.
Here we go. Putting it on. What a surprise.
Birmingham City have won 3 of their last 4 league games against Exeter City, losing the other game. They obviously won back-to-back games against them now this year in League 1. I think they won against them in November as well, on that cold Tuesday night as well. 3 goals scored, 0 against. Exeter broke a record yesterday. They didn't have a shot and became the first team to play at St Andrews since Opta recorded stats and have a 0.0 expected goals and 0 shots at all as well. Birmingham City have now won 17 league games in 24 matches, which is the second most since the 20 games in 2011-12 season when they won 20. They've got 22 games left. And I mentioned those teams that won leagues before. They're only 10 wins off Luton with 22 games. They've already surpassed Coventry in 12 games less. Well, sorry, 1 behind Coventry, which was obviously, 12 games less. Hull City 10 wins behind. Plymouth 14 wins behind, which I think is more than achievable for this side, and only kind of 11 behind Portsmouth last year as well. So a good period of that as well. Eggs have now lost 3 in succession for the first time. This is the worst period since October 2023. After they started well with 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, but they lost 6 on the bounce after that. I think they actually only got 1 point in 11. That came ironically against Lincoln City at St James's Park as well. And Birmingham are now unbeaten in the last 14 home games, winning 11, drawing 3, last enjoying a longer run at home between March and December. Really good to see. Blues, solid. I think what yesterday shows, they weren't at the greatest. They had no Pate, they had no Iwata. Stansfield looks half fit, but they are so much better than the other teams that when they're out and there are 6 out of 10, the other teams can't get near them, and they're getting through when they don't play great, and no one really can get a chance against them, and it's so hard to play through and play against.
Yeah. No, I agree. Exeter, like you say, Ben, just not in this game, Ben. You say they didn't have a shot on target. They didn't have a single touch in the Birmingham City box yesterday afternoon, which tells you how good this Birmingham City team are. I don't have much else to add, Ben. They weren't vintage Birmingham City. I don't think they were as good as potentially they could have been. But still, to not get out of second gear and to beat Exeter, who are a decent established League One side, is a really good achievement. It just keeps them ticking. It keeps them top of the table. Keeps the unbeaten run going. I think is that now 16 games they are unbeaten.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to recall last defeat coming at the start of December away at Shrewsbury.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
How they've every time they had a bad defeat, they respond unbelievably
What I do want to mention, and I think it would be fair, it would be unfair was not to mention as well, was the tifo from the Exeter City fans, which I thought was a really nice touch for Jay Stansfield's dad. Obviously, Jay Stansfield used to play for Exeter, and his dad unfortunately passed away. What I didn't know actually, Ben, is that Exeter retired the number 9 shirt, and Jay was the only person that has worn the number 9 shirt since his dad and since they retired it. So that was a nice feat for Jay, and I'm sure he clapped the Exeter fans off when he was substituted off or when he went off the pitch at the end of the game. They were good. They were very, very, very good. We're Birmingham. There's not a lot else to say, Ben. Particularly, they're just outstanding without knocking anybody away. They're good side, Birmingham City.
There's currently 141 people in the chat, and if you haven't subscribed, over 50% of these people, I think 57% in recent weeks, aren't subscribed. So make sure you press subscribe. It's free to do so. Just press subscribe. We do these every week. We've got League 1 and League 2 videos coming as well. I know a lot of you want League 2. League
It'd be in
2.
League 2 these days.
But yeah, please subscribe. 150 in now. Just please press subscribe. It would go a long way. So yeah, press subscribe. It would go a long, long way to helping me out. And Blackpool 2, Huddersfield 2. Blackpool surrendered a 2-0 lead at Bloomfield Road, and Blackpool have just won 2 of 11 home games at Bloomfield Road last year. They won 14 last year, where they were really good. They only lost 3, drew 6. However, they've drawn 7 and only lost 2. Too many draws this year. Not great at all for Blackpool at home as well. Again, 4 draws on the bounce. It's the longest kind of drawing period that they've had since 2017, where they also drew 4 on the spin as well. Huddersfield got to try out the new lad, the new strike force of Dion Charles and Joe Taylor. I'm sorry, I've got to do it. And a certain Joe Taylor scored a goal. Again, he started a little bit quicker than he did for Lincoln City. A good result. Huddersfield surrender on an unbelievable run that they've got. Huddersfield have lost 2 of the last 12 away games. 2 of the last 12 away games at Bloomfield Road, winning 5, drawing 5 now as well. They're on a great run. You know, I think you look at it, the winning games of football, the drawing games of football. Great comeback as well. And another point, on the board towards where they want to go, especially after being 2-0 down. And yes, they are 6 points behind that top 2, but they'll think with a game in hand on Wycombe, beating Wycombe, they can easily go there and try and get into the top 2.
Ben, with that strike force, if Huddersfield don't finish in the top 2, it's been an absolute disaster. I agree, Ben, on what you say about Blackpool. Really solid at Bloomfield Road last season, and whereas this year it just hasn't really worked out for them. They're actually better on the road than they are at home, and I'm surprised actually, because Blackpool historically have always been good at home and not so much away from home. But first half, thought they were very good. They got in front. Rob Apter scored a really nice goal. Alwie Morgan as well getting on the score sheet. Obviously, there's been talk, hasn't there, about Carl Joseph. He's meant to be off to Hull for a decent fee, which I'm surprised they've been able to get that much out of Hull for him. But a good centre forward. It meant that we got to see Tom Bloxham from the start. I think he's had a really good month for Shrewsbury, hence why they picked him up. And he slotted in nicely next to Ashley Fletcher. I think he gives them something different, a bit of pace and behind the back line. I thought he had a decent debut. But it's a game of 2 halves, Ben, like I say. And Huddersfield just switched it on in the second half, like you say. That man, Joe Taylor, took no time at all to get accustomed to his new Huddersfield teammates. Wish he'd have done that last year, or else we might have actually got promoted. Really, really good from Joe. Really good finish. He takes the ball down really well, and he sticks it on target, which is all he can do. Harry Tyler will probably be disappointed that it slipped under him. But the goal of the afternoon, Ben, and probably the goal in the goal of the entirety of the EFL weekend, Brodie Spencer, unbelievable for a centre half to pick the ball up where he does on the pitch, drive forward, and to unleash it into the top corner is fantastic. So, it was like I say, a game of 2 halves. Huddersfield will be happy they've got the new centre forward on the score sheet straight away. And to be honest, Ben, they win the home games. They keep drawing their away games. Huddersfield will have 2 points a game and will expect to be in the top 2. And given the fact they've spent a lot of money this month, obviously 3 million potentially on Joe Taylor, a further $1 million on Dion Charles, we probably anticipate they're not going to be finished. I'd imagine they probably want to improve at the back now that they've lost Hellick, who's gone to Oxford. They're a scary, scary thought if they're all going to be on it. So good luck to Wrexham and good luck to Wycombe and trying to keep up with them, because to me, Ben, this Huddersfield team will get automatically. I don't think they'll challenge Blues for the top the top of the league, but I certainly think that they've put themselves in prime position to finish second.
Mansfield Town 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2, a game of substitutes. Atkins and Gareth McCleary both scoring off the bench. Wycombe scoring late goals against Mansfield home and away in the space of a 6-week period, winning both games of football. Wycombe Wanderers now are currently second in the division, have won 16 games of football. Obviously, twice have come against Mansfield. I'd say this is their biggest and best win so far this season, and they've won 5-0 where Stockport beating Peterborough in that period as well, and had some great days out. But after your manager left, after you lose Caleb Taylor, you lose Aaron Morley in the space of a 10-day period. I think this is the best win you will get. Unbelievable character to score late on, to keep the dream alive when Wrexham dropped points, when Huddersfield dropped points, when Barnsley dropped points, to have the kahunas to go away from home and win. The first half, I thought they probably kind of deserved their lead. Obviously, they didn't get it. It was 2 second-half goals. Coney, 14 for the season now as well. In terms of stats, 15-15. Shots on target, 3-4. It's very even. But Wycombe have been winning even tussles all season. And that's the difference. Whereas clubs like Charlton, Lincoln, Leyton, Orient, at times have been at stages this season on the other end of that. Wycombe win it and they get the extra 2 points or the extra 3 points at times. And if you're good in key moments, and I bang on about this all the time, you will win promotions. And with 20 games to go, can they go and do it? I'd love to see it. There's obviously managerial rumours. It's the most sought out job in the country, according to some.
Apparently you'll have Zidane and Allegri all waiting up to manage Wycombe Wanderers. I think it's a big win, given everything that's happened at Wycombe over the last, only 19 days into January so far. It's been a turbulent month. Obviously, Morley and Taylor went back. You've had Matt Bloomfield leave his position to go and manage Luton, which I think is a good move for Matt Bloomfield, personally. For bids to be coming in for a lot of their players, Richard Kone, for Joe Lowe. A lot's going on outside the pitch. And I think Wycombe can be really proud of what they did yesterday. I thought they were outstanding. Richard Kone as a focal point up front has been again fantastic. Every time I watch him, he causes problems. He gets into positions. He normally when he strikes, tends to get them on targets. If you're looking for a pretty sure bet to come in when you're betting on Wycombe, Richard Kone's shot on target pretty much comes in every single game. Scored again yesterday. Mansfield get level through Lucas Akins, who seems to be quite inconsistent. Certainly in terms of where he's playing for Mansfield, coming on at fullback, coming on up front, coming on in midfield, sometimes even playing as a centre half. But like you say, Ben, for Wycombe to go and score in the 87th minute, Gareth McClear, I think Mansfield will be disappointed with the manner in which they defend that goal. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 opportunities that they get to clear it, but great finish from him. And for Sam Grace, the interim manager, there's a lot of pressure on him really, because he's in charge of a very talented group of footballers, and they've recruited big, haven't they, Ben? I know I say they've lost a couple, but they've brought in some pretty big players. The lad in midfield, the new lad started at the back, Skura. They've got they didn't start. That's Anders at the in midfield, the centre half, and they brought in Magnus. I know his first name is Magnus. I don't know his surname. In midfield. I'll let you have a crack at his surname potentially. Really big moments. Like you say, that is the difference between Wycombe and pretty much every single team outside of the top 4, is that they are ruthless and they're clinical in the moments that win them games. And that's why Wycombe are part of that top 4 race. They're just consistently doing this and winning games of football. And you've got to give a lot of credit to them. Who, just quickly, Ben, before we move on, if you're Wycombe Wanderers, who is your top target? Who are you going to appoint?
It's Helga Scar, by the way. Just point
you. Did you mute yourself and then put it on Google Translate?
No, we've done it in the video. If you go and watch that.
Anyway, who would you have?
Say he won't go there. Stephen Schumacher. Why wouldn't he go there? Right, listen to me here when I say this. Wycombe Wanderers, and you said this, aren't small Wycombe Wanderers, right? People used to say this about Fleetwood all the time, and it used to really annoy me when Fleetwood had a £6 million budget, £6.8 million budget under Joey Barton. Right, well, not budget, we lost it. I think the budget was like £4 million. It was like the 4th biggest in the division. We finished 4th, and everyone was going, "Oh my God, what a job Joey Barton's doing with little Fleetwood Town." Should be doing that. Wycombe Wanderers have a really good budget. They're in a good place in the league. They've got a good team. They spend a bit of money. Geographically, decent location, not too far from big places as well. He's a fan base that will get on board with you. That have, if you look at it, Gary Vaynerchuk was given a long time. Matt Bloomfield was given time when he started off poorly because that first 6 months there was ropey time and he got away with it and for who he probably was. I think Schumacher will look at it and think it's a job that he can inherit. And look, it's only a league below, probably 10 places behind where he left Stoke. Do you know what I mean? A real chance he'll get another promotion on his CV. I'd look at Des, Buckingham as well. I think that the way that they want to play football, geographically, location-wise, isn't too bad as well. And then I'd be looking at the likes of, if I'm honest with you, I like Dean Holden as a guy and as a manager. I don't think it'd be a right. Russell Martin, I think he's too far in the sky. I think I've heard that one. Rob Edwards, I've heard. I think it's too soon. I'm a big believer, right? Go on. And I'll say one last thing. We got Lee Johnson about 3 weeks after he came away from, was it Hibs? And I'm a big believer in, you don't want to get a manager after they've just, what?
It went really well, Lee Johnson.
Yeah. You don't want to get a manager that's just come out of a job because they haven't had a chance to refresh, first of all. They haven't had a chance to reflect, and the red's still elsewhere. And it's like, hang on a minute, you're getting mixed up. I think it's very much like, and I'll give you a comparison, of getting with someone that's just come out of a relationship like 2 weeks ago. They're not interested in you. You're a rebound. You're a rebound. Believe me, I've been there. You're a rebound and you're just there to make someone else jealous. You know what I mean? It's like they're probably thinking about their other person when they're speaking to you. Do you know what I mean?
Can I give you a name for the Wycombe job that I don't think you would have mentioned or you would have thought of? I wouldn't be surprised if Wycombe go abroad. Wycombe were that sort of club that would go abroad. But the manager I would recommend, and maybe it's a big step up for him, I don't know, because he's currently managing in the National League. Adam Hinselwood. He's at York.
Right, okay.
He's got York.
He's got York
up to third in the National League. I think he'd be a really, really good appointment. Really solid appointment. Really bright, innovative coach. That's doing really good things with York. Who are?
Hang on, did you say? Hang on a minute. Just click with me. I won't be surprised if Wycombe went abroad. York.
Yeah.
York.
It's pretty that far north. It's Scandinavia, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I just thought you've got a history of League One clubs dipping into non-league, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think Buckingham or shoot. I think they'll probably hire Buckingham. But I just wanted to say Hinselwood just as a bit of a different. Charlie Adams out of the game after being at Burnley.
He's off to Everton.
Yeah, set piece coach. Good luck, Charlie. Just keep your hands off Pete Wild. Whatever you do. Bolton Wanderers 2, Cambridge 2. Late drama at the Uni Bowl. Cambridge United have just won one of their last 11 games against Bolton Wanderers. In the last 10 games, Bolton have won 3, drawn 3, lost 4. That's as many points, as Shrewsbury Town in the last 10 games as well. Bolton Wanderers nowhere near good enough this year. Flat, decisive, so poor at home. The fans on the back of the players and the manager. You can clearly tell now it's having an impact on the team as well. And they look flat. They don't look good enough. They look like they're nervous to play in front of the supporters. And the fans are kind of at the point now where they're thinking, as soon as they go 1-0 down, they're rubbing their hands a little bit. The ones who whatever out, I'd say that's 95% now, that's thinking, oh, yes, fans will turn and we can get on. They're waiting for an opportunity. They're kind of not investing in the football. They're waiting to go 1-0 down so they can have a go at Ian Everett. And I totally get that. I've been there myself with managers. You know, I'll be honest with you now. I'll say I was there like that with Scott Brown towards the end a little bit, where I was like, I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing. Under Charlie, there was a bit of an emotional connection there for me that maybe hindered that a little bit. With Lee Johnson, I wasn't really bothered about it. It's a relationship that's gone too far, and it's like a relationship that they've cheated twice. There's no trust there. There's no love left in the relationship. You're just staying together just to keep the kids happy. Do you know what I mean? And it's no way.
Mate. I've been there.
Yeah, you can't leave me. And she
Dad, don't make it work, please. Please. Yeah. Nice woman, I promise.
Go, but at least you hit your short microphone. At least but Bolton Wanderers, and what annoys me, and I say it every week, people say and moan at me, they're 3 points off the playoffs, they're 4 points off Barnsley when they're getting on. They are so bad. They're nowhere near the standard. They're not consistent enough. We're just waiting for another. Honestly, it's like you're just waiting for the meltdown to happen. It's like the end of a relationship. You're just waiting for something to take you over.
You're waiting for the inevitable, aren't you? You're right. You're just waiting for the inevitable. You're waiting for the inevitable.
Yeah, exactly. And
the inevitable. Do you get it?
Yeah, I'm about to use that, Joe. But it's like Tuesday night would be the same. They could win the game of football, but the fans are like, I don't really care. And that's the saddest indictment you can have when you're watching. Bolton is a hard-working place. It's a hard-working, full of good people. The fans love the football club. And I don't know, like, outsiders will look at it and think, oh, they're not doing too badly. What an unbelievable job. He has. But 2 years ago, he did an unbelievable job. He's not carried it on. They've stayed the same. Nothing's changed. I won't say anymore because I actually get too annoyed. I get too into it. I'm throwing my arms around now.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say
apart from the Bolton TikTok.
Difference. I thought Cambridge were good and we were lucky to not win. I thought Cambridge were very, very good.
Could that come back to bite them at the end of the year?
I think so. They've been in this position a few times, Cambridge, where they're in a decent position to get some points and they just let it slip right at the last minute. And that own goal, if you've watched it, Ben, is ridiculously unfortunate from a Cambridge point of view. They would have been looking at this game, obviously taking it as a free hit going into the weekend. Obviously, another 2 points, Ben, would have them with where Shrewsbury are, having played the same amount of games. And we're talking about Shrewsbury with a real chance to stay up. You'd be talking about a Cambridge team, whilst they're not in the greatest of form. You're talking about a team that would be exactly where they were, 1 point behind Crawley, just the 6 points behind Northampton and Peterborough. So, yeah, it's a bit of an Achilles heel for Cambridge. However, they have stopped the rot. Obviously, 5 defeats, 6 defeats, 5 defeats in a row before that for them. I do fear for Gary Monk. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Ian Everett at the moment, but I think Gary Monk is just about as fortunate to be in a job as he is. I know he's got the lowest win percentage of any Cambridge United manager in their history, which is an absolute nightmare. But, positives from yesterday for Cambridge, Stokes, Kachunga. I think, Ryan Loft had a decent game up front, which is quite surprising given his current ability. I don't know. I think this is two managers that are currently outstaying their welcome.
Yeah, agree with you there. Frustrating for Crawley as well, who yesterday, again, had 11 more shots than Burton, 2 more on target. Dominated the game of football in terms of the metrics, when you look at it as well.
Look at you. You've changed.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I like this.
What do you mean?
Looking at the metrics and the underlying data. Look at you. You get on radio and all of a sudden you're talking about these things. Where's Napper's going? They didn't get the ball in the bloody net as much as they should have done. Bring back that version of Nappers. That was way better.
I'll tell you what, right? I was thinking the other day, Wigan, I was speaking to Wigan, he goes, on the commentary, do you like lose it like you used to on your watch songs? I went, no. I'm quite different
Soul
now.
For the score, would you have thrown the mic and gone, Soul for the score?
When we scored yesterday, right, it kind of just happened. I wasn't really expecting it. It went in, I was like,
I know, I saw.
Go and watch the video. Because he's doing absolutely doggers. I need help. You look at the underlying, and then you look at Crawley in the games, right? And how they've been playing. Against Barnsley, they had 6 shots on target in that match. Barnsley had 7, scored 3. But they just, don't know. Like, they're a good side and they play good football and they are good at the side-to-side stuff, in possession, creating chances. They just can't take it. They're not deadly enough. They're not nasty enough to nip in and go and win 1-0. They can't keep that clean sheet. And they went through this period, Rob Elliott. I think when they beat you around that period.
Did you say Crawley can't keep a clean sheet? I think they
What?
can.
Well, they can't keep a clean sheet, but if they keep a clean sheet, they don't win the game of football. Do you know what I mean?
We gave them one.
Well, you're different. But,
I know that.
But you know what I mean? They don't do it often enough. And when I say obviously, they go a goal down. And again, it's a disappointing one for that because it was a 6-pointer, as big a 6-pointer I think you'll see at this stage of the season. But yeah, Burton, that's now 19 points dropped from winning positions. It's massive. And I know you're not always going to win games of football that you go a goal up in or go ahead in, are you? It's I'm a big believer in that. But even if you say, right, they've got 9 points dropped from winning position, and you add 10 points onto them, they're only a point away from Northampton. Or even the ones in recent weeks, they beat Peterborough, they beat Huddersfield, and they beat Crawley. They're on 21 points. They're where Crawley, well, they'll actually be in front of Crawley and then, I'm only be 5 points off Northampton. So it's little moments, key moments. And speaking to Dave the other day, and there's still hope there, but they've won 2 in 25. You're now asking this side to go and get potentially 30, 31, 32 points from 21 games. And it doesn't seem unlikely. But I said 10 games ago, it looked more likely then. But as the season goes on, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They've got to go and realistically go and get where Bolton have in terms of points. Are they going to do that? They're nowhere near it. You know what I mean? Bolton are nowhere near it, to be fair. But yeah, disappointing. I think Crawley will see it as a disappointment. There's a big gap opening up now. I think that those bottom 6 really, you look 5 points gap now. I know there's game in hand, but yeah, I don't know what to make of this.
Unfortunately, Ben, I now have an interest in Burton Albion because they've taken one of our lads on loan. So I pay more attention to them, and I don't know why I do it because. I get enough reports from David saying how depressing it is to be a Burton fan. But I think first half, from a Burton point of view, was okay. It was good. They got themselves in front. Burrell scored. I know he tried the move that he did that he did to score, the little cutback. I know he did it a couple of weeks ago and he slipped in the execution of it. And he wasn't able to put it off. But I think that's a good sign that he's able to score. It's a great ball from Sweeney at the back. And then all of a sudden Burton go 1-0 up and you think, right, okay, you've got Crawley where you want them, go and get them, go and score a second one, kill the game off, and that's 3 points in the bag, and that's then 3 wins, and you're looking at 17 points. You won them behind Cambridge, and then all of a sudden they just sat back and they let Crawley come onto them, and with the pace in which Crawley have got, with the likes of Shawunmi, they had Hepburn Murphy came off, Will Swan's no slouch, Junior Katerna started, Tyrese John Jules didn't come on, but Ibrahim, they've got players with pace, and this Burton team are just absolutely terrified running towards their own goal. You get this Burton team running towards their own goal, they will make mistakes, and you've seen it for the goal that Crawley scored. I mean, fair play to John Daddy Bodvarsson. He's come in, 1 game, 1 assist. He knocks it really well down for Shawunmi, who knocks it. It's a really good finish, actually. Outside the boot, Travella lobbed over the goalkeeper. But after that point, Ben, it was all Crawley, and they had 20 minutes, best part of 25 minutes to go and win that game, and they didn't, which tells me that this Crawley team are equally as big an issue because you had Burton on the ropes, similar to how they had you on the ropes, and they weren't able to do it. I think there were positives for Burton. McKinnon, apparently, like this commented there, Luke said he did okay by all accounts. Owen Dodgson at left back came in and did all right as well. So the positive signs, just need a bit more experience in that team for me. A lot of young lads in there, and not a lot of lads that have played at this level before. I think they could certainly do with perhaps another holding midfielder. Kegs Chow is a decent player, but certainly a bit more of know-how in that period, bit of the pitch. Maybe an experienced centre forward that scored goals at this level. That's what they've done with John Daddy Bodvarsson. So yeah, they've got a lot of work to do, Burton. But I don't know. This will be a League Two game next year, but it absolutely will be.
I think what Burton did in the summer, if I'm honest with you, everyone was amazed about the business because they did it very all together, not very early. It was
exotic
enough, don't get me wrong. It was about the middle, wasn't it? Really, like start a pre-season-esque, obviously, when they're getting the squad together, new manager. And it's like, you know, like your football chairman, that app on your phone, or football manager. First thing you do is like, first
Football
season's
manager.
hard, isn't it? Because you've got no budget. But second season, like, right, you get rid of all the players that you don't want, and you're left with about 8 players, and you sign players that you want then. And it's very hard to rebuild a football club. And that is like Burton Albion completely went. Burton Albion up to 2024, gone. Burton Albion are a new football club now, with money, with a new ambition, obviously new owners, new manager, new everything. There was no constant. Crocombe and Sweeney are the only 2 players that were there 7 months ago. You know, obviously there's staff members that'll be there. You know, Lisa, who sells the pies in the home stand, in the Pirelli bar. You know what I mean? But there's no backbone of the football club. Do you know what I mean? There's no backbone. And for me, if you're going to reset as a football club, you need people around you that know the club. And I don't think there's enough of that. And I think that the business in the summer, I think they signed 22 new players, was okay. There was good bits, there was bad bits. And I think what they've done is like they've gone to a buffet, an unlimited buffet with continental options.
God, here we go.
What they've done, honestly, what they've done is instead of going little bit by bit and going, right, I'll have curry first, I'll have a bit of Indian, a bit of Chinese, a bit of continental, I'll go for a bit of steak, finish off with a bit of pudding. They've gone, let's chuck a bit of jalfrezi on my spaghetti bolognese with my little bit of Chinese on the side, and I'll have a bit of steak in there and mix it all together. And it's not blended. And they wonder why. It's a recipe for disaster. Bod Varson, he's a very good signing.
But you're making everyone laugh, look, eh?
Horsey is a good player. but you know, yeah, Bod Varson, who they've signed, do they work well together? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very, very.
Well,
yeah,
then we've been going 75 minutes, and we still have 1 game to go.
Yeah, well, it's a 90-minute show whenever we want. We're no rush. You've got no girls to talk to. I've got a pillow to talk to. So
I don't believe that to be the case, young Benjamin.
Peterborough nil, Leyton Orient nil. Clean sheet.
Oh, we're moving on.
What a first clean sheet for Peterborough United this season. Finally keeping a clean sheet where Jake sheets are never clean. Peterborough United unbeaten in their last 7 Football League games against Leyton Orient, who normally put on a show away from home, but not today. And again, another point towards where they want to be. And that is safe for next season at the bare minimum. Only 1 win in 11 Football League away games against the Posh, drawing 5, losing 5. A point each. Good point for, I'd say, both sides, actually. Obviously, it stops Leyton Orient's momentum, but it gets them a point closer to where they want to be. Again, 38 points, only 3 points off the playoffs. With Reading dropping points as well, obviously, to Stockport, who are above them in the table. But for Peterborough, solid point. Additions this week as well, which obviously they signed Cole Johnson, who Darren McAntony labels as one of the best fullbacks in the division, which I like CJ, but I don't ever go that far as well. I think they signed SHEWS as well recently as well. They signed Teo Adoon as well. It's a good signing. So they've smartened the business up, and I think Darren McAntony labelled they want to get through this season, win games of football, try and push up in the top 12, win the EFL trophy, and try and get players there for the next season, which, as you always say, 2-year washing machine, they go on to the next cycle.
Yeah, no, I agree, Ben. A couple of big players in new players in the team for them. Tail, like you mentioned, Sam Hughes is coming on loan from Stockport. I think that's a really good signing, given he's a no-nonsense type of centre-back. It was a rare clean sheet for Peterborough. Orient didn't quite get going to their full standards. I think that happens. Obviously, good for Orient to get a Marking Day in. I think he's actually a really good signing for Leyton Orient. He's been really impressive down in League Two. Ben, you'll have had kept a close eye on him, no doubt. He's been really good for Chesterfield. So for him to come in and offer them something different, obviously they were riding the high of a long midweek game. Obviously, they took Derby to penalties to set up a really big FA Cup tie with the Premier League champions, Manchester City. I think it's at the end of this month. So start of next month, sorry. So yeah, that was good for them as well. I'll tell you what I have noticed, Ben. I don't know if you've seen it. Keeley, he started becoming a midfielder. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Ignore the voice crack, please. He's become a midfielder. He's basically just gone, you know what, lads, I'm going to do the job. And he runs out to the halfway. I'm sure Orient fans are absolutely loving it.
Watching Leyton, Orient.
Well, it's watching Josh Keeley at the moment because he is very well and truly putting on a show. I thought Omar Beckles, that's his second great performance of the weekend. He was a pundit on the Wrexham Shrewsbury game. I thought it was excellent. Gave some really good insight that night as well. Really good performance from him away on the road. Yeah, look, I think, one positive I should say for Peterborough as well, the new centre forward that they brought in, Lindgren from Sweden. He's hit the ground running, scored a midweek in the trophy. Yeah, 0-0, Ben. That's a lot of talking for a 0-0. We don't normally do 5 minutes on a 0-0.
Look, there's lots of shows. Like I was just looking, actually, at coming up. It's such a busy time for this channel. In the next 100 days, I would probably go far and say there's probably another 25 streams, another 21 vlogs minimum as well. Probably 75 pieces of content. So get subscribed, become a member. If you fancy becoming a member, that'd be unbelievable. We're starting there's loads of membership videos coming as well.
Right,
but,
Ben.
Become a member.
Become a member.
You can do so. Link in the description.
Are you ready, Ben? We have some things to do. So obviously we have midweek, and obviously we have all of the weekend's games to do. So you went first for everything last week. Although not a lot. What I'll do, to be fair...
No, you go first.
No. What I'll do, to be fair... No, listen. A lot of the games where I let you go first were called off, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you have Tuesday night this week, where there are 3 games, right? I'll let you do them first, and I will do the weekend's fixtures. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So, starting off, Ben, your favourite team and one of your favourite headaches, Bolton Wanderers hosting Charlton Athletic.
1-1. TikTok live co-host is better, apparently.
Sorry, Emma. I didn't realise that was you. I reckon Ian Everett's gonna pull a result out.
I did it when she wasn't looking. She went to bar at Spoons and I got on her phone.
Did you?
Yeah.
I would start charging him petrol money, Emma, if I were you. I'm going to go Bolton 2, Charlton 1. I think he gets a result. Peterborough United versus Exeter City, Ben.
2-1 posh.
I'm going to go for 1 each. Finally, Wigan Athletic at home to Burton Albion.
Wigan, Burton. 2-0 Wigan. The days of supporting Burton Albion are gone, so 1-0 Burton. There you are. You only support Napimicon members. That's what I think.
I'm going to go, 3-0 Wigan. Tello Asgard to score twice and get me some points. Right, we're on to the weekend now, Ben. Nippers. We love you, Nippers. I'm going to start calling you Nippers now. Right. Big game on Thursday night, Ben. Massive game. Probably the biggest game in Sky Bet League One's history, according to Sky Sports. Wrexham taking on Birmingham City at the racecourse.
Won't go that far.
Don't you start. Don't you give a prediction because it's not you. This is the weekend. You were going to give a prediction then, weren't you?
What do you mean?
It's the weekend game, so it's still me.
Right.
So I'm going first.
Okay.
All right.
You go first.
All right. Wrexham 1, Birmingham 2.
Wrexham 0, Birmingham 1. I think my favourite game that I would look forward to all day, I remember watching it on iFollow, was Barnsley 0, Ipswich 3. That was a massive game at the time. And I think that pretty much secured promotion for them. And the week before, they won 6-0 at the weekend as well.
Right, moving on to Saturday then. We've got Cambridge United versus Mansfield Town at the Abbey.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nippers.
Yeah, Thursday's a weekday, technically. Just saying.
Yeah, but it's part of the weekend fixtures. So
fine.
Sorry, Sue. I know you want your favorite. I know you want your favourite to do well, Sue. I'm under no illusions who's the favourite here. Cambridge versus Mansfield. I think I'm going to back a draw. Cambridge 1, Mansfield 1.
1-0 Mansfield.
Right. Huddersfield taking on Bolton.
Mm.
Oh, Joe Taylor's going to have a right field day. Huddersfield 2, Bolton 0.
Huddersfield Bolton.
2-0.
2-0. Do you go 2-1 or 2-0?
2-0.
3-1 Huddersfield.
Taylor to score twice. Barnsley against Stevenage. At Oakwell. I am going to go Barnsley 2, Stevenage 1.
His glasses work. Well,
he's doing more work here than you make.
I get money out of it sometimes before YouTube takes its cut. So, yeah.
Come on, Ben. Stop talking to your mate. You can do that when you get off stream.
I don't talk to me out of work. What?
Barnsley Stevenage, mate.
2-0 Barnsley.
Burton versus Rotherham. I'm going to go Burton 0, Rotherham 2.
1-0 Rotherham.
Charlton at home to Shrewsbury. Oh, I want to do it. Charlton 1, Shrewsbury 2.
I was going to go for that myself. I'll go 1-1 then.
Exeter versus Blackpool. Home. Exeter 1, Blackpool 1.
2-1 Exeter.
Orient versus Reading. I'm going to go Orient 3, Reading 1.
2-0 Orient. Watching Leyton. Oh, Leyton's Orient. That was Leyton Orient's first win of the season, wasn't it? When they won 1-0.
Can we? This is the big one now. Lincoln Peterborough. Lincoln 2, Peterborough 1.
$2-1 Lincoln.
I've just said 2-1. You goon. Change your prediction, Ben. I just said 2-1 Lincoln. You're not focusing on the prediction.
Well, I'm not. Right. I'm autistic, right?
Yeah, I know that.
ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive.
Right, Emma, if you can do me a favour, Emma, do me a favour and just stop commenting for like the next 45 seconds, please. Stockport versus Crawley. Stockport 3-0.
2-0.
Wigan versus Bristol Rovers. I'm going to go Wigan 2, Gas 1.
Just about to say that, you little
6-point week for Wigan. They'll be happy with me.
2-0 Wigan.
Finally, to wrap us up, Wycombe taking on Northampton at home. I'm going to go Wycombe 2, Cobblers 0.
Exactly what I was going to say, you little swine. 2-1 Wycombe, sod off.
Right, Emma, you can comment again now. We're finished.
She's gone now. She's gone now, I think. Yeah, she's got autism as well, so that's why we get on. That's why we're friends.
Maybe why you and Farley went so far in the Fan Zone podcast.
Yeah, well, just because you got beat. Yeah, right. Should we ask any questions for the next 2 or 3 minutes? Right, can you all subscribe? There's 81 people. Can you all make me a mission? Subscribe. That'd be unbelievable. Thank you very much.
If you aren't already, of course.
Yeah, of course. If you haven't already, we're 90 away from 16.3. So all support would be greatly appreciated. And also, I'm very, 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 very close to 10K on TikTok as well. I upload lots of content over there. I'm about 850 away from 10K. So not very, very close, but very close. I have a few questions.
I'd like to
what's my latest? I did a predictions video 4 days ago. It's out there, Marcus.
Top scorer for the league? No.
He's only about 15 behind.
15 behind. Just score back.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Birmingham videos get me views.
Look, look, Nappers, there are other people in the chat that want to talk to you. Come on. Don't just give your attention to one person. Who else have we got? Come on then, Kershaw. What are your questions? If you ask me why Brendan Wirradoo is not worth 7 figures, I'll tell you. And you can stop trying to wire me up as well, by the way.
We just be slagging each other off.
What? 3'8". You're trying to wire me up, innit?
No, don't go on about his height. He's actually not that small in real life. I'll give him that. He's not that small. For his age, he's not that small, honestly.
He wants me to explain why Brendan Wirradoo is not worth £1 million.
No, what Kershaw means by that, he's worth £1 million to Fleetwood.
Yeah, but he's not going to go for $1 million. He's not going to go for $1 million.
He's not going to go for $1 million because we're not going to get £1 million, but he's worth £1 million. Either are, and he's probably worth £3.5 million, £3 million to Lincoln.
But we won't get
£3 million.
No, we'll get half of that.
Exactly, but he's worth more. I'd say Dion Charles is worth more than £750,000. He's worth more money than £750,000. He promised he's worth 700. Dion Charles is worth $1.5 million. Don't care if he's 30. It's context.
It's context.
Yeah,
It'll end up going to Wigan for 500 grand. Yes, Dan. You know, my friend. You know exactly what he probably knows the suburb of the city which is best to go to for relief, of course.
100%.
We had a lovely phone conversation last night, me and Dan.
Did you? Love that.
Lovely phone conversation. And then I think I followed it up with a phone call from you, actually.
Did I give you a ring last night?
Yeah, you did, yeah. Good point.
I was a bit flat, so I thought I'd give Jakey a ring. He always cheer me up.
Come on then. That's interesting. I know. Bless him.
Anyway, right, that's us. Thank you for watching. Please like.
That's it, apparently. That's it. Thanks, everyone.
Subscribe.
Can I at least plug my Twitter, or am I not allowed?
Yeah, go on. And no one's
Thanks,
follow
mate.
it, but yeah.
I really appreciate that, Ben. Please. I'm trying to reach 1,500 followers on Twitter. I know it's not a lot. But I am only 54 away. So I would appreciate if you could come and follow me on Twitter, please, at Jake_Tong98. I am sure my very good colleague and best friend, Ben Natman, would be able to put a link to such in the description. Correct? Never. Never.
Is Emma still in the chat? She's gone. Yeah. Best friend. Yeah, great person. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I've already followed you. I do unfollow you again, Jake. Yes,
Charlie will play none of them games. Thank you. Oh, and look who's here. Dylan. Little Dylan.
That time.
I said to do you know what I said to Dylan yesterday? I said to him, if the season finishes today, like last night, do Pompey get relegated? What would the answer be? They're in the bottom 3. The season finished today, would they have been relegated?
Right.
Yes, is the answer, because they're in the bottom 3. Dylan somehow didn't understand that, and he said no.
I don't understand. I think no.
They have a game in hand, but I said if the season finishes now, today, as it is, you're relegated. And the fact is, and I said this to Dan last night, and I don't care. I said Portsmouth, they've not been very good this season, right?
Can I just say, right? I'm glad that you've taken the end of a certain podcast better than me. That there you are. That's all I'll say.
Correct. All I'll say. We should probably say something about that, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Well, I think it's
announcement due soon.
Yeah. Well, big fight. That's all I'll say. You know,
big
massive
fight. Well, not a very big fight because the other chaps aren't very tall. So
no. Well, don't talk to us. Don't talk to us.
That's not fair. That's not fair. They do communicate. They do. We love them both.
No. Not Tom. Tom's in his mansion. You know, he doesn't speak to me. I stayed in the travel lodge the other week. He said to me, he goes, travel lodge? He looked at me up and down and he went, you disgust me. You just got village hotels. you know, yeah. There you are. No, there's no, they're great guys. Great guys.
Of course they are. We love them.
Yeah, just this one I can't stand. Thanks for watching. Thanks a couple of cards up the League One. We won this weekend. And yeah, if you want to become a member down below. I've uploaded a near half-an-hour video. It helps support the channel. So yeah, become a member. Thank you very much. Come on, the cards. Where is it now? I can't find it. Here you are.
Thanks.
My own. Chicken bucker.
It's 25-10.
I know I'm tired.
Oh, it's a lot. Oh, I got work in the morning.
So high, mate. So high.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Do you have any Stone Island nappers?
I've got 2 bits, but I hardly wear it. Because I think it's not like my type of thing. I don't like trying to fit in and look cool.
10:30 in the morning in New Zealand. Charlie's in New Zealand. How cool is that?
Jesus Christ. I thought, can you get a Wigan kebab over there?
I'm not sure he can. Charlie, I hope you're there for the game that we're playing. I think it's next month we play Wigan away. So I'm hoping you're going to be there for that, Charlie.
Get us on Love Island. Right. Bye all.
Ta-ra!